Do you know how pro offlaners get so much farm without looking like they are AFK farming? If you often find yourself underfarmed despite doing good in games, then this video will help you. I'll teach you to fix the number one mistake that 99% of offlaners make in low MMR. Before the video, I'm currently doing a Christmas sale for my coaching program. I've coached over 1000 players and helped at least 50 players reach Immortal, so I'm sure I can help you improve as well. Only 5 slots are left, so get it quick before the sale runs out. You can contact me through the Discord link in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so I'll be running you through an offlane replay here, and what inspired me to make this video is because I've seen this mistake being done too much in low MMR games. Basically, for context, as an offlaner, you're supposed to be breaking the offlane tower, taking control over their jungle, right, planting wards and farming, and ensuring the enemy post 1 cannot recover to the game. So at times where you're able to break the tower and you're winning the lane, or you get teammates to gank for you, you're supposed to take control of the lane and not leave to get distracted by other lanes. So you're going to see what this Death Prophet is going to do. So he sees a low health Riki and is going to try and, of course, push the guy out, break his tower, right? By the way, this is a continuation of the previous video about his laning phase. If you're interested in that, make sure you check that out. So I'll show you first the wrong way to do it. Okay, so after this guy breaks the tower, you can see he's just gonna play really strong here. Alright, gets a gank with the teammate. Now this is the part where it gets tricky because you want to really skill as an offlaner. So now we want to be controlling their jungle, right? Keeping the lane pushed out, planting wards in their jungle, and ensuring this post 1 is going to struggle. See this Riki that's tipping back to lane? He needs to not be able to touch any of these camps here and the lane. Because if he does that, this DP is supposed to be punishing him. But instead, most players is going to do what this guy is going to do, which is where he'll get distracted. Okay, so let's speed out a little bit. Okay, you can see here. So it's going to be like, oh, I've broke the bot lane tower, the enemy safe lane tower, so I'm going to go and help other side lanes now, right? You don't actually want to help people, you want to more so guarantee that when you make your movements make sense, meaning they get a kill, they translate to big fights, you know, turnover of a good fight counter gank. Whereas what you're going to do now is you're going to allow this Riki to free farm if you do this. So this is a very common mistake that people make. So this Riki is going to be like, hey, you know, Death Prophet, he sees Death Prophet mid, and he's just going to farm and recover in the game like this. And because of that, now he's distracted by a lot of stuff around him instead of going back to his lane and controlling this Riki's farm. So if you guys are doing a mistake like this, you'll not be able to skill. You can see he's getting caught in a lot of distractions. His CS is starting to go down, despite having a lane that he recovered from with his teammates ganking for him. So he's just wasting a lot of time. Even though he didn't die, he wastes a lot of time, and before you know it, the Riki has broke his tower. Okay guys, if you're gonna do this, your farm will drop, you allow the enemy carry to recover, you give him space to push the lane in to break your tower, and instead of like planting wards in his jungle, you know, pushing his wave in, bullying him whenever he comes back to the lane. So really what this guy should have been doing all along was when he got his ult here. Okay, you can see his ult is coming off cooldown, so the best thing you should do now is to buy a smoke, buy some sentries, dust, maybe a blood grenade as well, and then just go down and kill this Riki, because he's really strong. Doesn't matter what offlaner you're playing, you could be Legion, Tide Hunter, you know, Mars. Even if you don't have your ult, or if you have your ult, it's much better you make a play on the enemy safe laner than getting distracted by stuff happening on the side lanes. Unless, of course, it's a really urgent situation where you have to counter gank. So now I'll show you how it's supposed to be done the correct way. Okay, so now I'll use one of my 6.5k MMR student as example. So he's playing the Death Prophet offlane here, and even though he's ahead in the game, the things that you're supposed to do in the previous game where the Death Prophet wasn't as ahead is still the same. Okay, so we wanna break the tower. Alright, so he's given a free lane now, so he's gonna break the tower knowing heroes are on the map, and then he's gonna push the lane in. So what you want to do now as this Death Prophet is to keep the lane pushed out until a big fight happens for you to TP in and get some kills. Right? If those situations are not available, then we're going to farm. So he's going to check the mid lane and he sees tower dives. Okay, so situations like this are when we actually want to leave the area to go and counter gank a play. So knowing he has ult and all, this becomes extremely easy for him to pick up the kills. So of course he'll be doing a TP here. Okay, so this will be worth it to give up the control over the bot area and head over to mid to make the play. So after he makes the play, since he has the ult, he's just gonna translate this into a free tower, okay, and see if there's any more pressure to create for his team. So he breaks the tower here, then immediately he needs to think about, alright, now I have to return to bot lane to stop this Spectre from farming. So already you guys can see there's a lot of emphasis on preventing the enemy Poseidon from farming. A Spirit Breaker is charging him, and this Death Prophet is also going to stop the Spectre. So his plan now is to keep lane pushed out, farm camps, plant some deep wards, ideally, to spot the Spectre and stop his farm, right? So he has his Clarities to get his mana up, his Observer ward so that we can start some deep wards, and also a Blink Dagger to enable Death Prophet to play stronger. So now, knowing the Spectre has been missing for some time, Spectre is most likely farming around this area. So he's going to be checking either this area or this area. Since the mid area is quite dangerous, he's going to check the bot side a bit. Okay, and then he spots like there's a random Spectre here that's low health, so he's going to push the guy out. So now he's going to create a lot of pressure in this area that it's attracting a lot of attention from other people to be like, hey, there's a Death Prophet that's bullying my Spectre. So either we have to help the Spectre or we abandon the lane. Okay, so he's still checking. We want to check if there are any TP fights, but he has no TP, so that's fine. And we're just going to keep our pressure up. Keep the lane pushed out from the camps. So you can see how we're constantly pushing the lane in. So he knows again, hey, Spectre's been missing, so he's probably around this area or this area, and he's going to find him again. So if a tower dive like this could have been good if you execute it. If it was a good outcome, it would have been good, otherwise it's still okay because we kicked the Spectre away. So now he draws a lot of attention to himself and makes a lot of plays happen. And you can see the amount of insane attention he's drawing to himself, because when he's ahead, he's pushing his limits, right? He's not running around the map trying to do stuff elsewhere. Instead, he's really emphasizing on his control here. So even if he dies, he has given his teammates so much information that he creates space. So much space for this post 1 Ursa to free farm the entire game. Okay guys, so I hope you understand what you're supposed to be doing as an offlaner if you're in a situation where you can push your limits and go further ahead, right? Get further ahead. Of course, if you're not able to win the lane and break tower or farm their camps like this because the map is black, then you have to just pull this camp, farm the camps here, push the wave out, farm safe waves, and just farm camps to recover. But anytime you're allowed to push into their side and plant deep wards, this is what you're supposed to do as we wait for the TP kills. Now, Death Prophet is a bit special because once you have ult, if you cannot contribute to your own area control, might as well you just help another side lane take a tower with your ult, right? But as other heroes, even if you have ult, for example, if I'm a TIE Hunter with Ravage or I'm Legion with Duel, it's still better for you to get your blink first at least, get like more items before you decide to group and fight with your team, unless there are cleanups. Right now, let's take a look into a Legion Commander gameplay. Okay, this time I'm going to use BetBoom Miero's Offlane gameplay, right, of a recent tournament game from Dream League, and you're gonna see very similar stuff where we're looking at his offlane performance here, and we'll see his actions. So he's reaching a point where the offlane tower is falling, and he hasn't been making much moves on the map because we want to hit timings, ideally our Blink Dagger, before we decide to do stuff. So it's just going to be pushing out the lane, farming camps around. They just denied the safe lane tower by themselves because it's low. So this guy is just gonna be like pulling, farming, and constantly rinse and repeating the process to prevent this Juggernaut from getting waves and farm. So he pushes the wave, farms the Ancients and waves repeatedly without caring too much about what's going on in side lanes unless there is a fight. Okay, so you'll see this process over and over again where he farms the Ancients, pushes the wave, farms the Ancients again, farms the wave again, and there is no action whatsoever on the map for him to have to go. So he's considering to gate bot now for a fight, but then you'll see that, okay, he decides, oh, a duel, we most likely cannot get a duel kill here because there's no fight breaking out, there's no counter initiation. So he's just gonna stay top to farm over and over again. So he's farming the waves Ancients, and then he decides that, hey, the map has been black for quite some time now, a Juggernaut Slash can probably kill him. He's drawn a lot of attention to himself top side because he's been showing and constantly pushing and farming the camps here for a long time now. Because he cannot go and farm against the Juggernaut, right, hunt him down, kill him. So he's just scaling non-stop, and you can see all the pro players, their net worth and Last hits by 15 minutes, so it's going to be around 120, 150. At the very least, there'll be about 100. Okay? And this is all they're doing. They're controlling areas, they are pushing lanes in, they are farming camps, and they are waiting for mistakes. Because there are no mistakes, they're just going to constantly shove and jungle until their supports make a rotation that generates a kill or fights break up for them to go. All the while avoiding death with very good map awareness. Right, and he's just going to wait for his blink until he decides to do something on the map. This is how we play for item timings and power spikes, guys. So he hasn't been moving a lot, and once he hits the blink dagger, he's going to start moving around and making plays. Okay, and that means his item timing is hit. So now he just got his blink dagger, immediately he needs to start thinking about, hey, tell his teammate, I have my blink now, let's start doing something. Okay, so he's going to be much more active now. So they're all tallying time with his dual power spikes, and then they're going to make a play. Okay, that's perfect. So as a result of his blink and initiation, it's so easy to win the fight. Right guys, you can see how for an entirety of like 10 minutes or like 8 minutes, he's been just staying top farming, pushing, avoiding death. And then if he cannot push forwards, he's going back to farm his camps. Once he gets his blink, he's like, okay, I'm ready. Now I go to team, make a play with my duel. And as a result, he's constantly skilling and not falling off. If you manage to break tower, or even if you don't manage to break tower, make sure you don't automatically try to move around the map too much to do stuff. Focus on farming, focus on skilling, item timings. Only then, when you're ready, about 18-20 minutes, you get more items, then you can decide to group and fight with your team. In the meantime, we farm and wait for cleanups. Okay? Also some convenient fights near our farming route, right? Let's say I'm farming here and some fight breaks out here, or I'm farming here, some fight breaks out here. Or I'm farming here, my team decides to move into me and I follow them, that's fine. But if you're like just here and you decide to TP to help your team push a tower or run with them to group and fight, then that's a problem. Unless you're death preferred with ult early on and you want to take towers, that's fine. Just to mention again, my coaching sale is ending in about 5 more days. Okay, there are 5 more slots until Christmas finishes. If you want to get coaching with me, you can check the link below to join my Discord and contact me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.